And now on the line is Martina Kenny from My Lovely Horse Animal Rescue. Martina, welcome back to Near FM.
Thank you.
Okay, Martina, there was a demo outside the Department of Agriculture today organised by yourselves. For the benefit of any of our listeners, Martina, who did not see the recent Prime Time Investigates report on RTÉ television, can you tell those listeners why you were outside the Department of Agriculture today?
Yeah, there was a prime time showing the inside, basically, of what was going on in the abattoir, the horse abattoir, slaughterhouse in Salance. And what was happening was, like, obviously horses were going there to be slaughtered, but there was a lot of, really bad activity going on inside the doors, closed doors, abuse, the horses, like, tormented, the cruelty, and then also there was part of it where, there was a lot of things going on with the meat, and they were passporting the horses that weren't the actual horses, and using other chip numbers and things like that. So there was a lot of criminal behaviour as well going on. But the main thing that our concern was the fact of the abuse, and it was just unbelievable cruelty. It was so horrible, and it was caught on camera. So we are basically protesting or asking people to stand with us. We want to know what the hell the Department of Agriculture are doing about this. That this can't continue. We know that they're very concerned, of course, because of the food chain, and they're very concerned because of some of the criminal activity, but they also need to be very concerned over the animal welfare.
Okay, you said, Martina, that the RTÉ Primetime report was kind of unbelievable, but were you surprised at what was in that report?
I wasn't surprised. I was shocked at the fact that, the abattoir that's supposed to, that takes the horses and is run with a Department of Agriculture vet there on the Kildare, that something like this was getting by him. I was shocked at the sheer abuse that the poor horses were going through, that go in there firstly to be put, to be killed, to be shot because they're no longer wanted, they're no longer valuable, and all of that. That I was shocked by all of that, to see, God, isn't it awful that they have to end their life being shot in a place like that? But not only that, they have to put up then with a pile of abuse and torment, and like it was just horrible. It was horrible what happened to them. Beaten, prodded, left to lie on the ground and bits, kicked, awful. So I'm not sort of shocked at the fact that this happens on a daily basis all around the country. There is animals really severely abused and neglected. But the fact of the matter is that there was a department vet there, and that department vet said, "Oh well, I never went into that part." Why? You don't go to a kitchen, a restaurant, and say, "I'm here to make sure that the food is, above board and it's all prepared the right way." And then they say to you, "Well, you can't come into the kitchen." So obviously, alarm bells would be going off in your head and thinking there's something very dodgy going on here. So this has been going on for a long, long time, and yet, it takes something like Prime Time Investigations to literally bring it to light and show everybody what happened.
Okay, I don't know if you're a vegan, Martina, but I understand that vegans are against horse racing and other like sports, like greyhound racing in general. Do you think that the horse racing industry has questions to answer as well, or is it solely for the? Yeah.
No, I think everybody. I mean, I'm a vegetarian. I think that I think an awful lot of the large organisations that we're feeding into this place have a lot to answer for. A lot of them, maybe they didn't know the level of abuse, but we now need, the horse racing industry makes an awful lot of money. Like, it's one of our biggest industries in Ireland. They make a pile of money. it's about time that they looked after the horses and the yearlings that they don't want, that haven't made the grade. They need to do something. They need to put them down humanely. They need to pay for it themselves, and they need not to be sending them to places like that. As far as for meat and whatever, where there's things like this, there's always criminal activity, and there's been a pile of criminal activity in this whole thing, and it now needs to stop. And the Department of Agriculture have so much to answer for. I mean, they are literally just as bad as the rest, because they have let an awful lot happen under their nose, which is not good.
Okay, like I know with government departments in Ireland and around the world, there's a lot of bureaucracy and things takes long to change sometimes. But what are you calling on the Minister for Agriculture, Charlie McConnell, specifically to do, Martina?
Well, first of all, I think Charlie McConnell should be told that he's to step down. I think he's a useless minister really, and I think an awful lot of people think that. He has come out with some crazy statements about the whole thing. If he's not to step down, then I think he better start taking his position very, very, very seriously, and realise that the public demand transparency. Like, why? You know, at the end of the day, taxpayers pay his wage, pay the government's wage. Therefore, transparency is key to anything like that. You know, because there's too much things go on behind closed doors. So people need to know what's going on. They need to know that there are people being held accountable for this. They need to know that there's a severe investigation with severe penalties are going to come to this. There could be prison, we hope. So we need to know this. Like, they should be talking about this openly so the public know what's been going on, you know what I mean, since the prime time. We all need to know. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we all want to know. And where are the horses that were there already? There were horses there, and suddenly they all disappeared.
Okay, Martina, it's great talking to you today again.
Thank you so much.
Just to come towards the end of our interview, along with the Minister for Agriculture and the government in general, Martina, is there anything else that you think our listeners today and the general public in general can do when it comes to protecting the welfare of horses in Ireland today?
Welfare of horses and animals in general. I think that Ireland needs to, you know, really stand up now and go, right, enough is enough. You know, we've had enough of this. This is crazy. It's a daily occurrence where animals are being abused, neglected, and just treated like absolute rubbish. So I think it's time as well that we have a Garda Animal Crime Unit. It's time we have one. Prosecutions are key. We need them. We have to have more of them, and we have to, you know, make sure that they are prosecuted properly, not just hit with €100 or €200 fine. They need to either get heavy fines and some sentences as well.